Good morning, and welcome to our Self-Transformation Day and Dharma Naming Service. Each year, we celebrate this special day of transformation in the Won Buddhist calendar, a day that commemorates an event that occurred 107 years ago. In the very early days of Won Buddhism, our founding teacher, Master Sotaesan, gathered together 9 of his most dedicated, steadfast followers. They had just finished the arduous task of hand-building a levee that turned stagnant marshland into a productive rice field. Now, Sotaesan had a new assignment for them. For the next 147 days, each was to go to a specific mountaintop and fervently pray for the welfare of all sentient beings. If the disciples' hearts were pure and completely selfless, their intentions would be heard in the Dharma realm of truth. When the days of prayer had been completed, Sotaesan brought the disciples together again and asked if they would be willing to make a special vow to give up even their lives for the sake of all sentient beings. Their answer was heartfelt. They said yes, and to show their deep sincerity, they pressed their dry thumbprints onto a written version of that vow. Then, because of the strength and purity of their intention, the places where they had placed their thumbprints turned red, and the disciples were infused with grace of the universe. Today, we honor the pure intention and desire of those original 9 disciples to do absolutely everything possible to help in the suffering of all beings. Their intentions and actions embody the foundational spirit of Won Buddhism, selfless service. As we reflect on the disciples' sincere singleness of purpose, we rekindle our own vows to transform our heart and mind so that we too can help in the suffering for others and ourselves. So now, let us prepare for chanting and meditation by taking a moment to adjust our seats and then settle our bodies and energy.
prayer chant 14 times.
Page 4.
양주 전지영기야 심정 만사여예야 심정 전지여와 동일체하여 전지동심정 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 전지영기야 심정 만사여예야 심정 전지여와 동일체하여 전지동심정.
Palms together. Hearts together for self-transformation prayer. Grace of heaven and earth, grace of parents, grace of fellow beings and community, grace of laws for harmony and justice. Today, on August 24, we offer our self-transformation prayer. We are grateful for this intentional time for collecting our hearts and spirits in prayer. Our founding teacher Sotae-san assured us that when our mind is concentrated and completely devoid of any idea of self, our prayers will be answered. He said, each of our minds possesses an element that can touch the heart of heaven, and that each of us bears a responsibility to liberate ourselves and deliver all sentient beings. In our life journeys, we aspire to free ourselves of the limits and boundaries imposed by our own egos and by our personal experience. But often we are locked into habitual reactivity, causing us to feel caught by our own lives. Within this vessel of a prayer energy, we reflect upon what is hindering us. Through this prayer of self-transformation, may we rekindle our aspiration on our journeys to liberation and freedom. Today, we observe a historical moment in Won Buddhism, honoring the self-transformation of Sotaesan's first 9 disciples in 1919. We thank our spiritual ancestors for their dedication and devotion. Moving beyond their personal ambitions, the 9 disciples were able to join their hearts and minds with that of the founding master Sotaesan. Just as the Sotaesan's first 9 disciples cultivated their deep sense of focus, wisdom, and mindful action, may we awaken our spirits through the threefold practice. Let us reflect on what is working in our practice, which can lead us beyond self-limiting beliefs and thoughts. Through our prayers and meditation, Dharma study, and mindful action, may we transcend our individual selves to discover our greater potential. May our hearts connect with the Sotaesan's great vision of a spiritual mastery over attachment to material world. By transforming our self-serving minds, may we unfold the flower of selfless service, the ultimate fruit of spiritual realization. To this, we pray with our whole hearts and dedicate 4 bows. Either standing or full prostration bow, welcome to offer together with us.
Page 9.
One is the realm of samadhi beyond words and speech, the gateway of birth and death, transcending being and non-being, the origin of heaven and earth, parents, fellow beings, and laws, the true nature of all Buddhas, enlightened masters, unenlightened people, and sentient beings. Till one manifests as both permanence and impermanence, viewed as permanence, till one unfolds into an infinite world that is ever abiding, spontaneous, just as it is, viewed as impermanence, till one unfolds into infinite worlds through the cycle of formation, duration, decay, and extinction of the universe, and the birth, aging, illness, and death of all beings, according to how we use our minds and bodies. In the four forms of birth we transform through the six realms of existence, progressing or regressing, with grace arising from harm or harm from grace. Therefore we unawakened beings vow to practice wholeheartedly, modeling ourselves after Il-One-Sung, the Dharmakaya Buddha, by cultivating our minds and bodies deeply, knowing human affairs and universal principles thoroughly, and using our minds and bodies skillfully, thus progressing rather than regressing, and receiving grace rather than harm, until we attain the great empowerment of Il-One and become one with the nature of Il-One.
Good morning. My name is Won Gong, and I want to share a little bit of the story about what is the self-transformation day. Although At the opening words, our Won Kathleen explained really nice. Won Buddhism began in Korea in the early 1900s. At that time, Korea was a very poor country with very few resources. And as mountainous country, any extra piece of land that could be used for farming was a great value. By the way, you're welcome to Crystal add some sound effect as I am sharing this little historic story. At the time, the country was politically sensitive because Korea was colonized by Japan. Many people were being exploited and feeling hopeless. Food and resources were scarce. In the midst of this, Sotae-san, our founding teacher, achieved his great enlightenment in 1916. 2 years later, his great enlightenment, he directed a levee project to fill in an ocean marsh to create more land for food production and farming. Okay, I'll pause a few seconds and you can play music. To fund the levee project, Sotae-san's followers practiced thrift and diligence by setting up a saving association. It sounds very practical, isn't it? One way that Sotae-san helped the community save money was by encouraging practitioners to stop smoking tobacco and stop drinking alcohol. They also sold charcoal for fundraising. You can imagine, just like our temple has been doing fundraising bazaar many years. Sotae-san knew that charcoal was much in demand in Korea following World War II. Through this effort, an embankment was created to protect a stretch of land from the sea. In the early 1900s, there were no bulldozers or any heavy equipment in Korea. Creating such a large dike solely by hand and with wheelbarrows seemed almost impossible. Many people in the village ridiculed that project. Nevertheless, Sotae-san's followers had faith in their teacher, and they willingly did hard physical labor, carrying mountains of dirt. The wheelbarrow in this country, is more like a pushing wheelbarrow, but in Korea, it's more like you carry on your back. The dirt you carry, then dump, and carry and dump. That's the traditional Korean style wheelbarrow. With the Sotae-san's leadership, the levee project was completed in pop quiz. What year? Can you guess? 19? Yeah, it started 1918 and finished 1919. The 23 newly created acres of fertile land provided food and funds for the initial stage of Won Buddhism's development. This project is known as the very first attempt of building levee in Korea. I remember seeing that in one of the school textbook. It also led to the establishment of the first Dharma community in Won Buddhism. March 26, 1919 was the day the levee project was completed. And on that very same day, Master Sotaesan selected 9 of his most faithful followers and guided them to pray in the mountains. Praying for what? For the deliverance of all human beings from suffering. He said, these days, material and technological advancement grows daily with the immense power, while the human spirit that should be making use of material things has steadily weakened. Due to this, there is no peace of mind in the world. Please pray that human beings may become free from suffering and not controlled by material power. Your mind is the mind of heaven. If you deeply concentrate and are completely free of selfishness, you will move the heavens and your prayers will be answered. Following Sotaesan's guidance, the 9 disciples hiked to the mountain, to the top of 9 different mountains, and prayed for human beings to become masters of mind and body rather than being enslaved by material power. On August 21st, 1919, 146 days after they first started their prayers, Sotaesan and his disciples sat around in a circle. A bowl of water was placed in the center of the circle to symbolize pure mind and heart. You have been sincerely praying, Sotaesan said, but I don't see any signs that your prayers have been heard. Please check with yourself to see if there is anything holding you back. Check whether your prayers have been completely sincere and focused, without distraction from worries or attachments. Let me ask you, are you willing to let go and sacrifice everything for the deliverance of all suffering beings? Are you willing to manifest your prayer into action, even at the cost of your own lives? The disciples responded, Dear teacher, it is great honor for us to dedicate our lives to saving the many people who are in suffering. We are overwhelmed that you have chosen us, that you trust us. We all are ready to dedicate everything, even our own lives. Up to that time in Korea, the willing sacrifice of one's life was considered a highly honorable and deeply poignant way of expressing dedication to important matters, such as the independence of the country. So many people will not hesitate to give away their lives to fight for the independence of South Korea. And if you ever see do you like watching Korean drama? If you see some, the dynasty Korean drama, you will see, for the king, for the country, people are not hesitate to just give away their lives. To show their resolve, each disciple dipped their bare thumbs into the water and pressed it into the paper. Then, with a deep sincerity and commitment, they stood up, ready to head to the mountain for their last prayer and surrender their lives. As they did so, Sotaesan noticed that thumbprints were turning red, With excitement, he told the disciples to wait. Come and look, he said. Your thumbprints are turning as red as blood. The sincerity of your belief and commitment has moved the divine spirits of heaven and earth. This is a sign of approval from heaven and earth, that you have fully dedicated yourself to selfless service for the world. Accordingly, whenever you carry out your work in the future, despite all hardships and mortal dangers, do not allow your conviction of today to fade. The 9 disciples were overjoyed. Their faces glowed with the light of liberation and the realization of what had just happened. Sotaesan burned the paper as an offering of deep gratitude, then gave each disciple a Dharma name and honorary title as a symbol that their individual selves had died and that their greater selves had been born. Since then, some people have questioned whether the thumbprints actually turned red. I questioned too when I studied. And I wondered, why did he burn that? I wanted to see that as a problem. Regardless, the real miracle was the deep commitment and dedication of Won Buddhism's first 9 disciples, embodied through the power of prayer in their collective hearts and spirits. They embodied true letting go of self, complete self, total trust and connection, heart to heart, with the teacher, the teacher's wisdom, teacher's vision. Therefore, one Sotaesan became another 9 Sotaesans, and total 10 Sotaesans became the foundation of this wonderful Dharma community where we are now, today. This is what we celebrate today.
Dharmakaya Buddha, Fourfold Grace. I, Linda, devote myself to cultivating a new mind, body, and spirit. Please watch over and bless my Dharma path through gratitude practice and threefold study. I understand that my new Dharma name signifies my renewed commitment as a sincere Won Buddhist practitioner. May my practice remain heartfelt and consistent, regardless of the conditions and changes in my life. May I be open and willing to receive guidance from teachers and sages, trusting their support for my spiritual growth. May I embody the meaning of my Dharma name. May I transform a self-serving mind into a mind and heart of service to others. May I realize that I am one with the nature of Ilwan. Now, with the beginner's mind, I wholeheartedly receive the first 10 precepts.
10 precepts for the ordinary grade. 1. Do not kill without due cause. 2. Do not steal. 3. Do not commit sexual misconduct. 4. Do not consume intoxicants without due cause. 5. Do not gamble or play idle games. 6. Do not use harsh speech. 7. Do not fight without due cause. 8. Do not embezzle public funds. 9. Do not borrow or lend money between close friends without due cause. 10. Do not smoke tobacco without due cause.
Linda Cato Your Dharma name is Won Indo. Won Indo. Indo. Indo means way of humanity. So Won Indo means, may you unfold the way of humanity through Il-One. Can you repeat that all together? May you unfold the way of humanity through Il-One. Won Indo. Congratulations. Shauna Hay. Shauna, your Dharma name is Won Son Ha. Son Ha means meditating lotus. Won Son Ha means meditating lotus in the garden of Il-One. Everybody repeat. Meditating lotus in the garden of Il-One. Won Son Ha. Congratulations. So, Won Indo, Won Sana, they will share their spiritual Dharma journey, what brought them to this day of receiving Dharma name, which signifies their commitment, which means they are done with the spiritual shopping. Am I right? Okay.
When I was 7, my great-aunt Alice taught me to crochet. From a very early age, I was captivated by all creative endeavors, happily spending hours alone, painting, sculpting, drawing, and just making. So imagine my delight when she pressed a hook into my hand, pulled out a ball of yarn, and said, "Let's get started." My first stitches were clumsy and chaotic, yet with perseverance, the yarn began to move slowly through my fingers, and eventually I found a comforting rhythm. Loop over, pull through 2, loop over, pull through 2. Great Aunt Alice also showed me how to turn at the end of a row, go back the way you came, and how to add more yarn when needed, leaving the ends dangling so they could be woven in later. "Be careful with those loose ends," she said. "If you pull on them, everything will unravel." Under her patient guidance, crochet began to feel instinctive. In time, I could do it without thinking or looking. Reflecting on this, crochet seems to be a perfect metaphor for how I lived much of my life. One stitch following another without pause, marking days, months, years, knotting together the fabric of a human life. A small swatch that grew steadily, the yarn intertwined with loss and grief, happiness and joy, terror, heartbreak, wonder, and awe. Eventually, that swatch became a sweater. I slipped it on, it fit perfectly and was comfortable and familiar. Wow, I thought, I've gotten really good at this. So I simply kept at it, adding stitch after stitch, without ever even taking that sweater off. Due to the laws of cause and effect, the shape of my sweater changed. sleeves lengthened, soon dragging around my knees. The hem twisted unevenly and grew unwieldy. The yarn turned coarse and scratchy. Soon, I was encased in something heavy and unrecognizable. I struggled to work the yarn around the needle, yet I stubbornly clung to what I knew. Loop over, pull through two. Eventually, my body was completely swallowed by a tangled mass of knots and memory. And so I lived a long while, bound by my own creation. This is how I arrived at the temple about 2.5 years ago. Any attempts I had made to battle my way out of what I had created had proven futile, for, as the saying goes, what you resist persists. But from the first moment I sat on the mat, I felt the possibility of liberation, and not just for myself, but for all. It was this sense of bodhicitta, the bodhisattva ideal, this aspiration to eliminate the suffering of all sentient beings that initially drew me in. However, it was the threefold practice of spiritual cultivation, inquiry, and wise choice and action as central tenets of Won Buddhism that kept me returning. The idea that these practices, when undertaken together, form a path toward transformation and unity resonated deeply, filling me with a profound and abiding sense of hope. I returned week after week. Sometimes I pulled weeds, sometimes watered the garden, but mostly I sat, touching silence and stillness. In that stillness, the tight space that had long enclosed me began to stretch, to breathe. Light slowly filtered in. My own breath deepened, and I rested in what I came to realize was actually a beautiful cocoon. This brings us to the present moment, a celebration of self-transformation and devotion to this path. I am here. We are all here through the grace of heaven and earth, the grace of parents and ancestors, the grace of fellow beings, and the grace of universal laws that uphold harmony and justice. Through this grace, I rest within a cocoon of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Through this grace, those loose ends that were never woven in, but that I could not reach myself, are gently pulled by my teachers and my Sangha family, so that the knots that have bound me for so long begin to loosen and unravel, opening a way to awakening. Thank you all. My heart is so full. May all beings be liberated from suffering, and may all beings live in peace and be free.
Good morning. My name is Shauna. My Dharma name is Won Sangha. It took me a long time to write this talk. I read a lot. I watched others' spiritual transformation talks online and meditated on the idea of a spiritual journey, and even wrote an entirely different 12-minute Dharma talk. It's coming in September. While I contemplated this topic, In the end, it wasn't the books or the meditation that gave me inspiration. It was a batch of over-salted scrambled eggs. So here I am today, standing in front of my beautiful Sangha, grateful for how Won Buddhism has given me just the right amount of salt to bring out the flavor in my life. Salt is a metaphor for balance. A little goes a long way. Used mindfully, it enhances instead of overwhelms. It preserves too. Before refrigeration, it was essential to sustain life. But for many years, my life was far too salty. Each day felt rushed, like fast food. My blood pressure was always metaphorically high, probably literally. And like those eggs, the taste of life was not satisfying. When I finally turned into the driveway after passing by for many years, I discovered a more flavorful life. I found a community. I found Dharma. I found the challenge to loosen my controlling mind. Won Buddhism took me out of my comfort zone and taught me to stop adding too much salt to my hurried life. Just as salt preserves and enhances flavor, the Won Buddhism principles of wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness sustain and enrich me each day. I've also learned a lot about impermanence through Won Buddhism. Like salt and water, moments dissolve and change. There's a saying, the bad news, nothing lasts forever. The good news is nothing lasts forever. In the past, when I was oversalted, I clung to the bad news. I resisted change instead of being grateful for how life's constant flow. Now, instead of grasping at little moments or things, I can see how impermanence adds flavor to life. Another lesson I've received from Won Buddhism is the importance of creating a large container for challenges. Maybe you remember a school experiment where you add salt to a glass of water and you let the water evaporate and you taste a little every day. And by the end, it's too salty. But if you tried the experiment in a larger container like a lake, you wouldn't notice the difference. Life works in the same way. When we expand our inner capacity through mindfulness and cultivation, we create space for the salty moments without being overwhelmed. Won Buddhism has also offered me a feast, perfectly salted, on gratitude. Last year, I joined Reverend Wongong's Turtle Dharma course, and in one session, I was in a breakout room with Nate Jackson, who's not here today, and Reverend Song Il from the Manhattan Temple. And Nate, the ever-curious one, asked him a question: how do you know when you are in delusion? After pausing, Reverend Song Il replied, if I am not in gratitude, then I am in delusion. Those words kind of stopped me. They made me reflect on all the times I've walked through life without gratitude, weighed down by bitterness or saltiness. Even now, I can't say I live in gratitude every moment, but I catch myself sooner, and instead of piling on more salt, I aim to rebalance. Daily, I am encouraged by this Sangha. People often ask me what the regular here's are like. And the phrase that comes to mind is actually from Christianity. From Matthew 5:13, during the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus described his followers as salt of the earth. Good, honest, humble people. I can't think of a better description for the reverends in Sangha. Like salt, you preserve what is good in this challenging world. You add richness and flavor to a life that I didn't even know I was missing. You are essential to my well-being and health, and I'm deeply grateful. The temple itself has also just grown so much. I have the privilege of helping Reverend Sean with the 20th anniversary video that's coming in October. And looking through the photos across the year, I see growth, vibrancy, and flavor in the facility, in nature, and most importantly, the people. I've only been a small part of this banquet, but I'm grateful to be here now and excited for what's to come. Receiving a Dharma name wasn't something I expected, but I see it as a reminder to keep practicing to keep growing and to find the right balance of salt for my journey. Thank you.
Let us have a moment of pause, reflecting on our friends sharing one Indo, one Sanha, and also we reflect on our own spiritual journeys. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Let us open our arms and hearts, fully stretching up towards the sky like trees, greeting the open blue sky, and a wiggle of fingers. Wow, beautiful tree branches. And joining palms together and slowly bring down to our heart. And go again, straight forward towards the sky. Our spirit, our aspiration reaches far to the end of the sky and then gently spread far out in the universe, and we come, join the palms together on our tanjan, and there will be announcement by Jen and Reverend Sean. And children, you're welcome to come inside. Big applause to our children Buddhas.
Heartfelt congratulations to Linda, Won Indo, and Shauna, Won Sanha. As you receive your Dharma names, you step into a lineage of aspirations that begin with that first disciples of Sotaesan. And your names affirm your aspirations to live with mindfulness, wisdom, and service. May we, as your Sangha, walk with you and support your path, and may your journey bring blessings to all.
Happy Self-Transformation Day, everyone. Thank you for practicing with us today.
Another opportunity to practice on Self-Transformation Day is at our Raleigh Temple this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Come and enjoy the nestled energy in the forest of North Raleigh and practice with a guided meditation on letting go of our egoistic self.
Our temple has a regular weekly rhythm of practice. So besides our weekend services, there are events on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Tuesday in the evening, there is a meditation gathering. I went last week, it was amazing. Wednesday morning, there's a decluttering meditation, and then on Thursday, there's like scripture practice twice a day as well.
By being in our community email group, you'll receive updates and Zoom links about all these programs, including our upcoming retreats and classes.
Are you done? Many thanks to 13 friends who visited us to join us for the garden beautification party. Our garden looks so pretty along our walking path. It's a beautiful day, so please use it while it's wonderful. And each time when you walk with your step, you are like a part of a garden, the Sangha garden with us. And actually, even if you don't pull out weeds by stepping on that walking path, you are helping us a lot because we need to stomp the ground. And then each step connects the energy and the kind of think about so many friends who walked before us. And then think of us right now and so many friends who will be walking after us. So that's a quite beautiful garden practice. For closing program, you are invited for chanting, drop, release, letting go. Please make your seat comfortable. Rock your seat from side to side, forward, backward. And pause for a moment in your mind and heart. In your thoughts and feelings, is there anything holding you back? Anything locking you so you cannot go open to your free, spacious sky like freedom in your true nature? A lot of us are deeply aware the root cause of our suffering that hinders us to be free is our ego, self-centered ideas and karmic habits. And sometimes we don't know how to let it go. But here we are, we all together invoke, and we have a community, we have each other on this path, together to recite loud and clear, may I drop, release, let go of myself. May I drop, release, let go of my ego. May I drop, release, let go of my anxiety and worries. May I drop, release, let go of any preconceived notions, ideas, past experience that get into my way to see things clearly. Drop, release, let it go. Together. Drop,
release, let it go. Drop, release, let it go. Drop, release, let it go.
Open your hands.
Drop, release, let it go. Drop, release, let it go. Drop, release, let it go.
One more round. Open your heart and chest.
Drop, release, let it go. Drop, release, let it go. Release, let it go. Release, let it go. Release.
May we all be transformed. May we be free. May we be liberated. Thank you all for your being here. It's so powerful, special day. We have some refreshment. And see you again next week. 감사합니다. Big hand waving to our friends online. Are we not meant to meet again, to walk as one upon the path? We met before years ago, like this. Our deep Dharma bond goes back 3,000 years. This is the reunion we have been longing for. Now we sit beside each other without words. Do you not feel this joy, this joy? It springs to us from years ago. It springs to us from years ago. 우리 주 영산 외상 운영수제 아니던가 오래 두고 그러던 이루 만남 두다 무슨 일고 말없이 마주 앉은 정이 삼천여로 더듬네. 우리 주 영산 외상 운영수제 어느던가 오래 두고 그러던 일을 만남 두다 말없이 Are we not meant to meet again, to walk as one upon the path? We met before, years ago, like this, like this. Our deep Dharma bond goes back 3,000 years. This is the reunion we have been longing for. Now we sit beside each other without words. Do you not feel this joy, this joy? It springs to us from years ago. It springs to us from years ago. 우리 주 영산 외상 운영수제 아니던가 오래 두고 그러던 이루
말없이 마주 앉은 정이 삼천여루
Are we not meant to meet again, to walk as one upon the path? We met before, years ago, like this, like this. Our deep Dharma bond goes back 3,000 years. This is the reunion we have been longing for. Now we sit beside each other without words,